Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, we're bringing you round 3 of season 24 here from the great Japanese circuit of Suzuka, where 17 of the world's best drivers come together once again to duke it out in the biggest and best race of each Skippy week. Joining me tonight, Alex McKellar, is one master Ben Snell. Ben, welcome back to the booth, mate. Great to have you here.
Good evening, Alex. It's great to be here and not be out in the Coliseum of Death that we're going to see tonight around Suzuka International Racing Circuit. It's going to be a slugfest tonight. It's a long track and it's a long race as well, a little bit longer than we normally see in a Skippy. Normally we're just under 25 minutes. Today we're just a little bit over 26, so a couple of extra laps than we're used to here. And it's going to definitely put these guys to the test with lots of drafting and lots of sweeping bends where the guys who have the pace can definitely try and break away a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. Look, if anyone gets half a chance to break away, they'll certainly be gunning for it. But then the big packs here can be a roll of the dice, as we've seen here so often. But look, plenty of big names here tonight, starting with car number 1, as he has been for a while. Here with us, Mr. Benny Simonson, of course. Manu Luqueta, big breaks himself's back from Ivano Sim Racing there. Julian O'Fray for Redface, he's back as well. No chance that you two will run into each other this week, Ben. But Pereira joins us from Brazil, and Kawabe. Gol Kawabe, the leading Japanese driver here tonight. Looks like Nagai-san, last season's runner-up, still having some technical issues keeping him away this time, Ben.
Yeah, that's it. So Gael Kawabe, keeping it strong for the Japanese contingent this week. So hopefully we see a good result out of him. He's followed up by Ludwig Giddy here today from the Netherlands there. So it was great to see Ludwig back out and putting on a strong performance, being followed by car number 7, Giuseppe Tellini, who I need to apologise to from the pre-race because I was in the warm-up race and I might have pulled the world's biggest slide job on him coming into the triangle on the final lap. So sorry, Giuseppe. And he's followed by Chris Herrera, who seems to have a lot of pace at the moment, just had a bit of bad luck in the warm-up race. So hopefully he can convert that pace into a good finish here today. And car number 9, Mr. Inaki Blanco, Alex.
Yeah, Blanco from Iberia. He joins us once again. I missed number 8 as I was trying to set some stuff up in the background. Where is he? Chris Herrera. Yeah, good to see Chris out in the green and purple machine. Not to mention
It's
that.
not easy to miss, or not hard to miss, sorry.
That's right. Alcaraz from Iberia joins us in the 10-plater car. Danny Blanco is having a bit of a storming season at the moment, pushing hard in his racing. He's the 11-plater car here tonight. New one to us there we go, 12-plater car from Iberia, Carvial. I'm going to go. Carvial, I think.
That's probably better than I would pronounce it.
That's what I'm going to
And
go with anyway, yeah.
That's it. Car 13 here today, Alexander Scarrett from the Scandinavian Club. So it's great to see some Northern European representation here this evening, as
Yeah.
well as car number 14, Manuel Licata in the Ford Zilla entry.
Yeah, Team Fordzilla joins us once again. He's growing a bit of a fan club. Has Mr. Licata burst on the scene in the last season or two. Fulgurini is back once again. He's the 15-plated car. Last couple, we got the one and only. Well, he's not the one and only. He's the first of the 2 ANZ drivers, Mr. Corey Lean, in the 16-plated car, and rounding out the 17 cars in the field is Vasco Sorowski from ANZ, just sneaking into this 4,600 plus strength of field, Ben.
Yeah, so a massive strength of field. Still haven't managed to hit that 5K number, but we're marching ever and ever. Well, we're constantly hovering over that 4,500 strength of field mark, which is great to see. Such strong representation from the Skippy drivers here. So, but yeah, massive field. 2 Aussie guys just managing to sneak in with Corey and Vasco. So hopefully they can do well. Corey does have a ton of pace behind him. So just unfortunately, he sometimes just gets himself caught up in situations. As the times start rolling through now, looks like Blanco's gone to the top with that's Danny Blanco. It is with a 25-2. We're going to probably see these guys dip well into the 24s as Lecetta comes through with a 24-5. These guys are starting to really pump those times through now, Alex.
7 tenths ahead and 2 tenths ahead of Simonson on his first lap. That's a fair drive from Lucetta. We've seen him very quick around here this week. Very confident around here this week as well. So really looking forward, Ben, to that battle between Lucetta and Simonson as the race unfolds.
Yeah, for sure. So it's the difference in philosophies, isn't it? Lucata's been out and about all week, pumping in races. I've seen him in a lot of races this weekend, whereas Simonson shying away from the warm up races and stuff this week, and he's just come out just for the main event here. Probably a little bit constrained on time as Benny with his real world racing as well. So coming out, doing the bare minimum, getting out involved with the big race of the week, and he's got the pace to burn. But let's see if he can get it done without any warm ups there, Alex.
Yeah, that's it. Tell you who hasn't set a time yet, though, is the other Movano racer in the field, Ludwig Guidi. Must have compromised his first lap, and I have lost all network. You still with me, Ben? We're still there. Oh, there we go. Sorry, folks. We had a big network issue there, but we're back. I was just going to say, Ludwig Guidi, the other Movano Racing team member, as ghosted by a set of tyres in front of him, has not set a time yet. Lucetta's on his second lap and looking to post another sensational time. He's just shy of 2 tenths ahead of Simonson. What can he do with his second lap, man?
Yeah, he's definitely using all the track right here on the halfway through Spoon there, right on the edge of getting a 1X's, which what we probably saw from Ludwig in that first lap. He's on 2 incidents at the moment. So, but yeah, these guys definitely looking like they're going to pop into the low 24s with this track temp. It's just a tick under 40 degrees out there on the track surface itself. So these guys should be well into the 24s on their second laps, usually about half a second quicker than the first one, as we watch Manuel now come through the triangle into the final corner, now sweeping around to the right. The line's just right by that Suzuka circuit bridge, and does he go quicker? Guidi pops up into second. O'Fray goes to the top with a 24.4, and that's Lucetta, 24.3. What's Simonson got for us now? He comes across the line. Does he go better? He does indeed. Goes 24.346. Not enough for Lucetta though, Alex.
No, that's right. Lucetta's got a 3 dead. Simonson just pipped by 3/100ths of a second as the clock ticks down. Let's go check out our grid for tonight's race. Hopefully it'll come up in a sec. There we go as the session ticks over. Marnie Lucetta from Ivana Sim Racing with a 24.3. The envy of many, I'm sure, sitting on pole tonight. Just as we said, 3/100ths behind him is Benny Simonson for Apex Racing. Julien O'Fray from France or the Netherlands. I think he's from, I can't remember. Anyway, Red Face Racing's Julien O'Fray, just a 10th off pole there, sitting in third. Joining him on the second row is the other Movano Sim Racing team member, Ludwig Guidi. Chris Herrera leading the USA charge here tonight, running on empty racing, 3/10ths behind in fifth. Starting sixth tonight will be Giuseppe Tellini from Italy. Seventh tonight will be Danny Blanco from Iberia. Starting from eighth, the ANZ's Corey Lean. Ninth off the grid tonight will be Danny Carvajal, I'm going with, from Iberia. Diego Pereira from Brazil out of 10th. Manuel Licata from Team Fordzilla out of 11th. Rodrigo Alcaraz from Iberia out of 12th. As we go over the page, 13th tonight is Koabe-san from Japan. 14th, Alexander Scarrett from IGL Coatings E-Racing. Inaki Blanco from Iberia out of 15th. 16th, Vasco Sorowski, the other ANZ driver. And Daniel Forgiorini did not set a time and will start 17th and last on the grid, Ben.
Yeah, Daniel's going to have his work cut out for him coming from the back of the field. It can be done. This is one of those tracks where if you play your cards right, you can use the draft to leapfrog your way through the pack and then use the twisty stuff to try and bridge the gap to the next pack. But the big issue here is just avoiding the carnage, and we've seen a fair bit of carnage so far this week. So hopefully these guys can keep it clean for us, but there is a risk that these guys are going to have a messy one as well.
Yeah, always that risk, as we were saying before tonight, as the guys who are used to running up the front find themselves in the mid pack as we find the red lights turning the revs rising, and green, we are away as words escape me here tonight. Manu Lucetta leading them down into the first corner. Already Geedy going on the attack and O'Fray covering as they go through the first corner here. Always Japanese circuits are conveniently named first turn. But they managed to get it through 2 and 3 wide in the back, but everyone getting through safely through that first section there, Ben.
Yeah, everyone keeping it nice and tidy. The guys towards... Oh, as we see someone go around there. That is a car around. That is...
Corey
Oh,
Lane's
sorry if I
gone,
get...
and there's
Corey...
more.
Oh, unfortunately. And there's a big follow-up collision as well. It looks like they're still going. Forgarini's involved. There is just contact everywhere. Massive carnage. I can see in a cross car in the situation as well as Corey skirts through. But that is a massive pile-up at the start of the race, Alex.
Oh, I'm trying to find where the first bit in my telemetry turns red. Oh, it's all unfolding through, and the S is there, and it is I was just complimenting everyone on how well they went, and then Licata probably needed to hold the brakes there, but that wasn't it. I'm just going to try and find what happened to Lean originally. Oh, Blanco's into the rear of Lean. That's what's turned him. And then he's safely gone off there. And then, who was it into Licata? It was the 4 car there of Pereira. He probably just avoiding action, if anything. And then it's all unfolded from there. Cars everywhere. The 14 car of Licata's. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, Ben, that was chaos.
Yeah, absolute chaos. And this is one of those tracks that we were saying, like there is a tendency for a little bit of carnage to unfold, especially on cold tires and a skippy in that uphill section there through the S's where the cars are constantly being loaded left and right. We've got a bit of a 6-car breakaway right now at the front. It's almost just the 6 cars that weren't involved in any sort of contact, just managing to keep themselves clean. As up the front, who have we got up the very front there? It is Lucetta in the lead, Simonson trailing right behind him with O'Fray, Geedy, Herrera, and Tellini bringing up the pack of this lead group. So it's great to see Tellini's managed to hang on to the lead pack there. He's struggling a little bit with pace in the warm-up race and dropped off the lead pack, but he's managing to hold on nice and strong this time, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. We got at least we've got a race still going on up front with as O'Fray gets checked up behind Simonson there in the braking zone at the first turn, but everyone lives to fight another day. Well played. The front 6 there with Blanco now leading a secondary pack with Alcaraz and Carvial, the other Iberian there. But meanwhile, back up front, we have Lucetta leading the way from Simonson as they started. O'Fray, Geedy. In fact, everyone in that top 6 or 7, they're all as they started off the grid. But certainly, I wouldn't expect them to stay that way.
No, for sure. It just depends on how much these guys want to play sensible after probably seeing in their mirrors all the carnage unfold. They are like, oh, do we really want to be testing ourselves too hard here in the first few laps of the race? I think they're going to look to settle down, get themselves into a rhythm. As we see, was that Herrera or Geedy running wide there through Dickman 2? But yeah, these guys are going to be looking to just settle down, get the bulk of the race done, and it's going to be the guys towards the back like Herrera who starting to get antsy first. I think they're going to try and get themselves further forwards in this pack because come the last lap or two, it's definitely those first 2 or 3 positions that you want to be in, and that's where everyone's going to be focusing their attention on come lap 10 or 11.
100% with Simonson putting all sorts of pressure on Lucetta. Of course, they'll probably, if they're going to switch positions, do so on the run into 130R to make it clean and fast. But I'm wondering how many of these guys, Herrera's on the back there. We can already see Tellini dropping off. I wonder how many are hanging on and how many of them are actually gunning to move forward here as we see one who is, Benny Simonson, takes the lead on the approach into 130R. We see Lucetta tucking behind him, as did O'Fray and Herrera, and looks at this stage that Tellini at 1.3 seconds off, unless he can pull off a beautiful run in the braking zone, has been dropped by this front pack, Ben.
It looks like he actually did have a really good run through that final braking zone into the triangle there, and he might just be on the edge of it there. It's about 8/10 back right now, so hopefully he can hold on to that lead pack. But we were saying that Tellini may be a little bit rusty at the moment, just maybe not getting quite onto form. But He's got plenty of laps to get that rhythm going and see if he can hold on to that lead pack. But if they don't fight, it's going to be much harder to keep up if they just stay line astern and keep pushing through. As now Simonson takes the point now through the uphill S bend section, so this is going to be interesting to see what kind of pace they start pulling now, and whether the likes of Tellini and Herrera can hang on towards the second half of this race.
Yeah, well, with the draft through the tail section of the lap, they've almost reached their qualifying times already, and we're on lap 3. You'd expect not to run quite as fast as they can solo in the early stages. Certainly by the end, draft assisted, they'll be setting some blistering times. We saw 22s in the 22-second laps in the warm-up race. I expect we go pretty close, conditions notwithstanding this race as well. But this front pack just line astern, racing smart, looking to drop Tellini now, who is... Oh, look, he got within 7/10 across the line, but as they start to stretch their legs through the laps, lock up there from Lucetta into the hairpin brings Guidi right alongside O'Fray in the background. He tucks back into line bend, but that was a near miss for the Movano boys.
Yeah, that was a close one, and while that was happening, it looks like Alcaraz overshot the Degners as well, and he's dropped back to the back of that secondary pack. Oh, actually had a big slide through Degner too, and he's let Caraval and Blanco past him. So those guys are going to be trying to work together to see if they can bridge that gap, but with mistakes like that, they're only going to be falling further and further away from the lead pack.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see, speaking of falling away from the pack, Tellini now 1.4 seconds behind and potentially at risk of being caught by that secondary pack and making it a race in 4 for that little group. As up front, no, jeepers, there could not be any closer there. Herrera right on the tail of Guidi there, as we see O'Fray now tucking in behind the tight line of Simonson into the triangle, this time round on the tail end of lap 3. They all get it done cleanly, and they all continue on to fight another day.
Yeah, Simonson was really liberal with the track limits on the exit of 130R there, and that corner is very sketchy, especially in cold tyres. If you drop a tyre on the outside of that ripple strip, as we see O'Fray now trying to make the move into second. Lucetta goes defensive, but he rolls out of it. These guys going side by side. The side by side as well. Behind as Herrera makes the move on Guidi. It's all starting to happen now. These guys starting to shuffle around, playing ducks and drakes, just trying to get themselves in the best position possible. Lucetta manages to hold on, but these guys have got to be careful. We know Simonson's a bullet. And if you let Simonson go, it's, Herrera has a look up the inside of O'Fray. This has slowed them down massively. Look at the gap that's already formed between Lucetta and O'Fray, as just that little bit of a look that put O'Fray off has just dropped almost half a second there between O'Fray and Lucetta.
Yeah, I'll tell you who'll be getting itchy legs or itchy feet after that is Ludwig Guidi on the tail end of this pair of O'Fray and Herrera. Herrera really trying to push the pace, but costing them and absolutely risking falling off the back. They're at half a second now and starting to close back up as they settle down, but very risky at this point. I'd suggest if you want to move forward, you've got to pick your marks a little bit better than that, although he's come up the inside.
O'Fray just overshot his braking marker just by the slightest touch, locked the inside there and allowed Chris to have another look as Lucetta goes super wide there and just like basically opens the gap up and just gives O'Fray a big chunk of draft there. He could have been a lot closer to the back of Simonson as we come into Spoon now. Simonson once again just absolutely nailing those markers, doing exactly what we expect from him, just throwing down those perfect time trial-esque laps as the guys behind just managed to hold on as they're really starting to get strung out, behind Simonson now. He's definitely turned the pace up when it comes to that lead back as Tellini's gone. He's fallen away massively now, and I think it'll only be a matter of time before we see him fall back into the grass of the Dannies. Carvajal and Blanco there.
Yeah, absolutely. This front group now.
Herrera's in the back of O'Fray. There was
jeepers.
definitely a bit of a touch there.
Yeah, and they've managed to get away with it. Doesn't look to be any damage there, but that's very sketchy early on. These guys, and look at that gap that's opening up already. It's half a second for Herrera to O'Fray. O'Fray tucked right under the tail, and we see Guidi go by O'Fray now as well. By Herrera, I should say. And yeah, look, that very risky. No rewards there for Herrera that time into the triangle.
Yeah, I think Herrera just took his medicine there and let Geedy through. He knows that Geedy had the run, and it's their best opportunity to stay on the back of those front three guys. He takes his medicine, lets off the throttle a little bit, rolls in behind rather than fighting into first turn, and allows Ludwig to carry as much speed as possible and keep that top three dream alive as O'Frea's at the back of Lucetta as well. These guys they're right on the limited grip, throwing through as these corners as fast as they can, and they're just not paying enough attention to the nose of the car, and they're just having all these little minor contacts, which is just these little mistakes that don't need to happen, Alex.
Yeah, it makes me wonder about the draft and whether they're just misjudging it as we see. Look at O'Fray right up through the second Degner there, tucked right in behind Lucetta. No margin for error there. Can he get his braking right this time through the hairpin? If he did the same things he did last lap as the car, all sorts of attitude under brakes there. Makes me wonder about his bias there, Ben. Maybe he's got it a fair way to the rear, more so than perhaps the conditions can allow.
Yeah, definitely looks like he's fighting that car a little bit. It's constantly sideways, and it has a lot of attitude in it. So he's obviously got, the full stiff ARB in the rear, which is pretty common. He's probably got the nose right down as well, because we haven't seen him cutting a lot of the first Degner as well, which with you have the nose right down in these, it will damage your wing if you do that. So it looks like these guys have gone for the full aggressive setup. As we see Herrera's now starting to get dropped as well. Maybe after that touch, he's just rattled himself a little bit and he's struggling to get back into that rhythm. But he's at a real risk of getting dropped by these lead four right now. Look at O'Fray having a look there. Has to get out of it as Lucetta rolls off and lets Simonson take the lead through 130R. Again, nice smooth line from the lead car, but that check up there has just allowed Herrera to get back into the picture, and we're back to a 5-car pack at the front.
Yeah, I was wondering if Herrera was going to get dropped there. He's down to about 8/10, but those shenanigans through 130 hours brought him right back into it, as you say. Tellini even managed to peg a bit back in the last lap or so, but certainly still out of this one at nearly 2 seconds behind. But 23-second laps are now what we're starting to see, as O'Fray in draft has got a 23.7 that time round as the fastest lap, and look, it looks like Tellini's safe in his little bubble at the moment, but I don't know that anyone's safe in this front pack, Ben.
No, this front pack is just absolutely all over the place. So Lucetta's doing his best right now to manage the pack. He's trying to let Simonson lead. He knows Simonson's probably the quicker of the drivers out here, and he's just trying to cover that second position. You can tell he just gets very defensive coming down the straight into 130R. He opens up the inside, doesn't let O'Fray come down the inside of him, but won't attack Simonson. Even though pretty much, if you get a good run out of Spoon, you can definitely get pretty much a complete draft pass done with a little bit of cooperation. But once again, you can see him. He's posturing his car to the inside, just opening up a car width, just saying, no, you can't come through here. This is my position. So it's going to be interesting as the elbows start to get put further and further out as we move further and further along through the race. We're halfway through now. This is lap 6 of 11. So we're getting halfway through the race. And you can see, there he goes. So Frey goes down the inside, has a look there. He's gone side by side, but he's not going to have the run out here. Simonson's going to give Lucetta the draft as well. So Frey's now opened himself up to attack for Tellini as there's contact as he tries to close the door, but Tellini was there and he's gone, nah, that's my spot, mate. And Frey goes for one and ends up losing one.
Keedy there was absolutely there. And O'Fray, I don't know whether he's unsighted or his spotter was not on or whatever, but the Movano boys working hard to get into the podium positions. Meanwhile, I'll tell you what's surprising though, what's the pace of Simonson actually like when he's actually holding a gap there and almost opening it through the twisty sections from the hairpin through Spoon between himself and Lucetta. Lucetta has got absolute jets around here, and not without draft there. He's still struggling. I don't know if he's struggling or he's just foxing or shows the nose once
the back
again.
Three here. We got O'Fray and Geedy side by side again. Herrera's right there, leaving no room for error. He's tried to cut up to get the run on the inside once again. So O'Fray's gone to look for a spot, and once again looks like he's going to lose another as Herrera now has the run. But look at the gap that's opened up with that little bit of a confrontation through the triangle. Look at the teamwork. Lucetto's just gone, come on, Louis, take my draft, stay with me, brother. As they go, Herrera has a look and backs out of it and actually gives O'Fray the run around the outside. These guys all over the shot right now. They're just playing funny buggers and they're just not helping their own cause as it happens. So Benny Simonson once again drops a 23.7, fastest man on track without a draft. because basically everybody else has a draft behind him. But look at it right there. Herrera went fastest around that lap, but it was only a tenth quicker than Simonson. So there's not a lot of pace differential in this lead pack. It's basically being run by the metronome that is Simonson up the front.
How on earth are they hanging on to him? That's what I want to know, because between O'Fray and, here we go again. He shows the nose into the Degner, first of the two Degners. He's really sort of putting all sorts of pressure over Geedy. Seems to be more action in unexpected places. I thought these guys had just run line astern as almost defensive posture, or opening the door even, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Geedy goes for a look up the inside. He's like,
Geedy.
I want to go forwards. So this is going to be interesting. Now it's teammate on teammate. The two Mavano boys now, Ludwig Geeding and Lucetta, coming through now through the bank straight here towards Spoon. And Geedy's just slotted back into place. He knows that he doesn't want to open up the door for O'Fray. As O'Fray comes now, has a look up the inside. And he's got to stick his nose up there as they go two by toe into Spoon. There's plenty of room getting left between these two guys, but they're just slowing each other down. Look at the speed differential from going side by side versus running line astern. As once again, Lucetta's going to give the draft to his teammate, the Team Movano drivers working together. This is the benefit of having a teammate in this lead pack. They're going three wide down the straight. Herrera wants to have some of this action now as O'Fray thinks the better of it. Backs out, almost takes out the back of Herrera. And look at Geedy. Geedy's all the way off the track, comes back across the grasses there, side by side behind him. Herrera's always got the front. They've managed to get through this. This is messy as, but they've managed to stay alive. But that is it's just costing them so much time, all this chopping and changing. As we see once again, Lucetta and Simonson bolting away right now. The gap's a second. The gap is a second right now. So this might be it. It might be a two-man breakaway as we've got O'Fray and Herrera bumping wheels down the straight, trying to get themselves into turn one. Again, side by side. This is absolutely ludicrous. These guys have still got 4 laps to go, Alex.
How on earth are they still in touch? Are they? Yeah, it's 7/10, so they're still in touch. I don't know if Lucetta's lifting or what, but those guys from 3rd to 5th, O'Fray and Herrera just chucking it in everywhere. They don't want to win this race, but they're going to make it exciting along the way. That's for sure.
Oh, they're definitely not giving us any lack of entertainment. This could be much worse. We could be watching 5 guys driving around line of stern until lap 10. And but these guys want to give us a show, so we can appreciate that. We can appreciate them doing that for us. But once again, we've got that big break now, as it looks like O'Fray is getting dropped off the back of Geedy, with the front 3 now starting to form a little bit of a breakaway. They were almost at that magic 1 second. 8/10 now between O'Fray and Geedy, and we don't have a big twisty section. There's not a lot of checking up to happen as these guys now draft themselves down the bank straight here towards Spoon. This gap's just opening up once again, and we're getting a real stretched out lead back now, Alex.
How's the pace of Geedy to bridge that gap, though? That's I don't know if there was extras horseplay between O'Fray and Herrera that held him up, but he's got there with consummate ease almost. And you're right, they're out to 8/10 now. It'll open up further as they exit Spoon out onto the big back straight here on the approach to 130.
Spoon.
Yeah.
He's lost time there as well, so he's starting to drop back now. Looks like it's going to be Movano v Benny Simonson, as looks like Lucetta's going to go for the move now. He thinks the time is now. He wants to push that lead pack through. They got that 3-car breakaway. He's going, let's start drafting together. Herrera sideways through 130. That was massive. As look at the brakes on O'Fray, just trying to close that gap. He is throwing everything and the kitchen sink at that gap right now, trying to bridge it. Now, this is going to be the interesting one. Which pack is going to work together? We've got that almost second break now. Can the two guys in 4th and 5th work together enough to stay in touch with a chance for a podium, Alex?
Well, O'Fray's lifted, surely he's lifted.
Yeah,
there you go. 7/6, just around 5/10 now into the braking zone. Oh, but Herrera's overcooked it. That could have undone the whole lot there. Back out to 7/10. He lost 2/10 through the rear of the car stepping out, through the S's now. Can they hang on? They were all but back on there through the braking effort into the final triangle there by O'Fray, and Herrera could have just cost them again as the front 3 head down, tails up, just looking to run away with it.
Yeah, Herrera just looked like he was a little bit out of sync coming up the hill, but I think he's just close enough to hang on. Let's see if they can work together pretty much. Whereas Lucetta's still on the lead, so Benny Simonson didn't pass him down the front straight. So that was where they gained that little bit together of the look at the speed from Herrera. He's thrown everything at it. He's wide through Degna 2. I think he's touched the wall there and he's thrown it away. I thought he had it. He threw so much speed through Degna 1 and closed that gap up, but just overcooked Degna 2. Touched a tire on the wall on the exit. It's almost all but over for those two chasing drivers of both Frey and Herrera.
Yeah, but Frey just managed to get it done in the braking zone there. Three cars not going as smoothly or as quickly through the hairpin as one there with Frey now. He's struggling though, and this will be where it really tells. Up this next following straight as the front three. Look at that. Big brakes, Lucetta using every bit of the circuit and more. Would have picked up the incident point there. Both exits of Spoon there. And really looking to get away with it there. O'Fray, 9.9 up to the 1 second mark. And, he's got to do something in the braking zone or it's done.
Yeah, it's all going to be the time's going to be made in the braking zone as Simonson takes point coming into 130R. He touches the rear tire on the grass of the entry. The car gets very, very wild. But you can actually see that even through 130R, that Frey's made time as we move into the braking zone. Look at him close right up as he comes now. He's got the preferred line. He doesn't have anyone in front of him that he has to worry about the checkup from. Look at the time that he made up through the triangle there. He's back. He's well and truly back with that sequence of events there.
Yeah, look, that's crazy, isn't it? To see a clean run at the braking zone give you at least half a second there. That's what he made up in that braking zone. As you see this time around, Simonson, he's not really challenging, still racing smart. The question is, can Herrera bridge what is just under a second, or they continues to almost what you'd call overdrive the car there in his attempt to get back on again, costing him 2/10 to the front four, and the cream, can we say, has risen to the top this time round with a lap and a bit to go.
Yeah, definitely. So Simmons and Lucetta have been leading this race by just absolute domination. With Guidi's tried to have a look a couple of times, but it's been shut down. O'Frey's tried to have a look a couple of times and it's been shut down. So it's definitely Lucetta and Simonson that have been the controlling forces of this race. But it's starting to get a little bit more hectic now. We're on lap 10 of 11. We've got a lap and a half to go as we come through the Degnas now. With these front four, you can throw a blanket over all four of them. That's the gap that we're looking at, with Lucetta still on point. So it's an absolute barnstormer right now, Alex.
Yeah, into the braking zone they go. Line of stern.
There's a touch.
Yeah, O'Fray into the back of Guidi there by the looks. That'll bring Herrera back into it, and O'Fray may be out of it. We could be back to a 5-car showdown here for the last lap at this race, at this rate, I should say. But these guys certainly leaving it all out there on the track, that's for sure.
Yeah, they've definitely not been shy about it. As Portelli, I've just got back. Giuseppe's all on his own. He's 4 seconds to the rear of the lead pack. He's still got 4 seconds on the guys behind him. So just on an island right now, just hoping that something happens in front of him as we move back to the Dannies and Rodrigo there. Blanco Carvajal, sorry, and Rodrigo Alcaraz. So those guys still, I think they will try to work together, but they just haven't been able to close in on Tellini as Herrera's once again been dropped off the pack with these front four drivers. So he might even have a bit of a straight line speed issue because he's been dropped pretty handily through the last two straights as the lead four nice and tight. There's a bit of a check up there as Guidi almost gets into the back of Lucetta, but they've managed to keep going. But again, gives Herrera a sniff of hope. But once we go drafting down this front straight, once again, it's going to be these lead four drivers being led by Simonson coming into first turn for the last lap. And this is where everything happens. Look at O'Fray. He tries to have a look down the inside. He wants to get to the front of this pack, and I think he might have left it too late as the wall of Movano in front of him is not going to allow him through. The red-faced racing driver is all on his own. And he's got the two Movano teammates and Benny Simonson up ahead to contend with.
Yeah, Herrera still with a sniff, you should say. Interesting to see what they do into the braking zone at the hairpin this time round as they exit or come to the final couple of little bends here in the S's, led by Simonson, as so many of these laps have been. It's now or never as we see Lucetta posturing once again more in defence and attack at this point. Doesn't want to give the opportunity for even a sniff through Degner 1 or Degner 2. It'll be the hairpin that he might have to worry about his teammate into the braking zone.
Watch the attack from Geedy now. He's got to run. He's gonna have a look because he doesn't want to be third. He wants to be second. Is he going to shove it up the inside here as Lucetta got the brakes? He does indeed. There's nothing doing here as we come through the hairpin for the final time. Here we go. Simonson in the lead. Lucetta in the chase. Is it going to be a look into Spoon, or is it going to be all down to the final long run into 130R? That's where Lucetta wants to get it done. He's out of the draft right now. He's trying to make sure that Geedy doesn't have a look at him right now, but Simonson's got the lead. He wants to lead this with pace. He can defend. Even if he gives up the position into 130R, he can come back at him into the final Casio triangle. But this is it. We've got a Frey watching, waiting for something to happen. It's going to be between our front three drivers, I think. Simonson in the lead. Lucetta goes to the right. Geedy has nowhere to go. He's been boxed in by his teammate. He goes for the grass. Geedy goes around. We're going 3 wide into 130R. Geedy wide as you like. Look at the run now from O'Fray. Geedy has no room to come back on. Simonson's trying to close the door on him as they go 3 wide behind. It's Lucetta in the lead. Lucetta's going to take this one, barring a massive mistake. But there we go. Lucetta comes through. He's going to take the lead. Simonson holding on to second right now. Geedy holds on to third. And that's going to be 4th position for Julian O'Fray. And Chris Herrera comes across the line in 5th.
Oh, I tell ya, I don't know that Simonson will be too happy with that. I thought Geedy went around the outside, took some liberties there at both the entry and the exit of 130R. I thought Simonson was very generous letting him back on the exit of 130R. Let's go take a look. Oh, if I can get an actual picture going. Right, I'm going to take a look at this final run here. I've picked up where Simonson got a 1x there, but we're coming down to the hairpin. We'll see. Hang on, let's go here. This might be a bit better. Here we go. So on the rundown here, let's watch this again. You can see we might go normal speed there. You can see Geedy on the outside of his teammate there. Lucetta lets him back on the track. They both squeeze Simonson, who does tremendously well. But then Geedy, once again, taking some liberties with the track limits. And Simonson, I think, is going to let him back on, which, of course, he doesn't have to there. But he thought twice about it, didn't he? No sense of full control there from Geedy. And I want to see this as well. The braking by Simonson here is absolutely outstanding. He's got the eventual race winner in front of him. He's 3 wide into the braking zone. O'Fray gets out of it, but look at the attitude of Simonson's car. Full attack on the brakes, beautiful control, very little slipping, and still gets it done. As did Geedy on the inside. Absolutely fantastic driving. Side by side they go. They get it sorted like the world's best drivers that they are. O'Fray has another look up the inside and probably gets the run, but only manages to hang on for 4th in the end as the top 4 crossed the line in sequence and ejected the end of it. Mate, that was a great finish to what was a great race, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like, 9 times out of 10, something like that would 100% end in tears. Someone would have made a mistake there, but you are talking about it's the world's best skippy drivers that are rocking up here each and every week, and they can do stuff like that, going 3 wide into 130R. Like Simonson just used the tactical head that he has and just got his nose out of there because he knew that if you were 3 wide at the apex, someone was gonna end up crying. So it's just that smart headspace and just the excellent skills that these drivers have that allow them to get through to the end of a race in something that's just such a firecracker of a finish.
Yeah, and I say Simonson wouldn't have been happy to let Geedy back on there, but I'm sure he's just had a blast either way. The race was brilliant, and that's what he turns up for, and that's what they all turn up for, and that's the way we like it, right? So let's take a look at our final results here for round 3 at Suzuka for season 24 of Sunday Night Lights. We see Movano Sim Racing Team's Manu Lucetta finishing on top of the pops after a sensational battle. It was 1-2 all night with he and Simonson and Lucetta coming out on top in the end. Benny Simonson for Apex Racing, finishing in second tonight. Very hard fought, I'd have to say. And maybe not with the laps that he wanted under the belt, but it didn't show with the absolute skill in those front four on display in those closing stages. It was brilliant. Ludwig Geedy rounding out the podium for Movano Sim Racing Team, and he threw everything at it as well. As did Julian O'Fray in fourth there for Red Face Racing. Julian once again putting on a fantastic show. Chris Herrera for running on empty out of the US. He's done everything and more to stay in the battle in the front pack, but ended up finishing 1.2 off the lead, some half second off the back of that pack. So certainly did not do himself an injustice, but fantastic race for him, finishing in the top five. Giuseppe Tellini ran that lonely race there to finish sixth, followed by Danny Blanco from Iberia in seventh. And ANZ's Corey Lean, hang on, what? There must have been something that's gone on with the Dannies, because Corey Lean's come back after that early, getting turned on the opening lap to finish eighth. That's an outstanding drive for the ANZ driver. Ninth tonight went to Alexander Scarrett for IGL Coatings E-Racing. The other ANZ driver, Vasco Sorowski's finished in 10th, which is a good night out for him. Considering, he started second last, so that's a great finish. Danny Cavial from Iberia, the other Danny there tonight. There must have been something there. Maybe we can check it out later. He's finished 30 seconds off with...
It looks like it happened between him and Alcaraz, who finished in 12th.
Yeah, that would be why. They still got some SNL points, but Carvial and Alcaraz, the Iberians have finished 11th and 12th respectively. Gol Kawabe from Japan, not the finish he was looking for, just outside the points in 13th. Tiago Pereira from Brazil in 14th. Finishing 15th tonight was Manu Licata from Italy, and Team Fordzilla, not the race that he was looking for, Inaki Blanco, similarly in 16th. The Italian Daniele Fulgierini caught up in that lap one incident as well. A couple of minutes off the pace there in 17th. Ben, what a race here at Suzuka. Delivers once again.
Yeah, so it was pretty much everything we were talking about. There was going to be that battling and the posturing in the lead pack, and obviously the carnage. We didn't see a whole heap of carnage after that first lap incident. Obviously, the guys that we saw there in the last few positions were the guys involved. It was great to see that everyone still managed to finish the race. I went and got their fast repairs and kept on driving. So no one pulled the pin and finished early. So congrats to all those guys. Congrats to everybody, because everyone made it to the end of the race. So that's the main thing we can hope for. But yeah, what a fight between our leading drivers. It was an absolutely clinical display that we saw from Benny to try and take that win. But of course, sometimes you can drive as well as you want, but if you've got two teammates working together behind you, it's sometimes it's just not meant to be.
Yeah, that's what it looked like too. They worked hard together, and then other times they battled in the middle of the race too, side by side at the exit of the hairpin. Certainly demonstrated that as well. So, whilst they weren't playing for sheep stations, they were certainly giving it a red hot crack. Now we do have someone in the green room here. We've got one Julian O'Fray joining us once again. Julian, mate. That was a spectacular race. What was it like to be out there in the middle of that front pack with the positions changing every time we blinked?
Oh, yeah. This race was very, very interesting. Um, I had just a little trouble. My virtual reality view changed, and and I had to reset it. And my how to say, the mirror on the car, I can't see the view I usually have. So I had trouble to to change line when I had uh, car just behind me. Yeah. And I touch Ludwig like this, and I don't know, maybe another at the last chicane. I'm not sure. I need
Yeah,
to check the replay.
Yeah, we did wonder. There was some very tight action there, and sometimes it looked like people almost getting caught surprise when people were beside them at times. But the racing, nonetheless, was spectacular throughout. It looked like, particularly yourself and the others fighting for that third position were very eager to get into third and have a crack at potentially leading the race and almost tripping each other up. Was it certainly though? Was it exciting there in the cockpit?
In the cockpit, it was very intense. I'm so sweet. Uh, and yeah, it was one of my more intense race, I think, in Skip Barber. Uh, and I try to pass each time I can, but with a fast lead and a fast follower, it's really hard.
Yeah, I can imagine the pace looked like it was certainly on in earnest up in the front. But Julian, thank you once again for joining us both on the track and for a chat after the race. Is there anyone you'd like to say g'day to or thank for tonight's race?
I want to thank you for your job, and I want to apologize for the little contact I had with some drivers.
No problems. Thanks, Julian. Always great to see you, mate, and we look forward to seeing you in the races remaining this season.
See you next week. Bye.
There you go, Ben. Julian O'Fray. Always great to have a chat to Julian. He calls it as he sees it, which is great. And it certainly looked like it was pretty exciting for him anyway.
Oh, exciting is definitely one way to put it. That's for sure. He had to have his head on a swivel the whole time. It's just great to see that he's got a little bit more pace this week as well, because I know he was pretty hard on himself for feeling that he didn't have the pace to stay with the leaders last week at Sonoma. So it's great to see him back up and fighting in that lead pack again, and giving us something to watch, and definitely some of the most exciting driving we've seen from a lead group of drivers in a long time.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the other racer that we've got is one Benny Simmons. And Benny, that looked like a bit of action out there tonight, mate. How was it for you?
It was fun, right? Yeah, really good battle. Last two free laps was good. So yeah, it's a fair, good, hard battle. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, mate, I got to say, it looked like it was all quiet and calm up the front there with yourself and Manu there for most of the race. But behind you, it was all going on. And then they brought that action to the pair of you at the front in the last lap, mate. That run through the final chicane there, you look like you were right on the edge and yet at the same time in complete control. How was that run through the final chicane?
Yeah, no, I think Manu was gone at this point. Obviously, it was a battle for second at this point. So well, before it in 130R, they kind of done me a little bit more than I hoped, so I didn't really have the overlap, so I backed out of it, and then I think Ludwig went a bit wide, came back on, and I think for the chicane, Julian kind of got boxed in, so it was between me and Julian. So I thought if I can hang around outside, I would have the inside through the next bit, and obviously get the draft off Manu to the line. So that was the plan, and yeah, seemed to get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, hopefully we do. I know you said last week you won't be able to run the full season, but it was certainly great to see you here tonight, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
As you know, shout out to Mano. That was a great win. He deserved that one. He was fast. So yeah, well done. And obviously, you guys as always.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Benny. Great to see you, mate. And hopefully we can see you for a few more this season.
Yeah, probably missed the next couple, but I'm sure we'll see you during the season.
Beautiful. Thanks, Benny. Talk to you then.
All right, see you. Bye bye.
There you go, Ben. One of the good guys, Benny Simonson, off to do some stuff at real tracks around the place. But great that he still makes time for us here on a Sunday night.
Yeah, it's great to see Benny. come out and have a run. And pretty much every time Benny runs, he's going to be right at the front fighting for the win. So once again, it was that 2-on-1 kind of fighting with the Movano boys that did him in, and you could see on the run up to 130R when Ludwig had the run, you could see Manu just move across and leave Ludwig just enough space to get up alongside of him. If it was not a teammate, you can guarantee that Ludwig would have been boxed in and not had the run coming into 130R. So yeah, Benny definitely seemed like he was the one that had the pace to burn tonight. Of course, Manu as well. Like he's been super quick all week, so it's just a case of sometimes the teammates is stronger than just raw overall pace.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an interesting little dynamic there in that front three in particular, but throw in Herrera and Hofre to the mix as well, and it was borderline chaos, but certainly fun to watch. But folks, that might do us here tonight. But don't forget, that's not the end of the action for Sunday Night Lights. Don't forget to check out the Locked On iRacing podcast this Wednesday, where we'll do the Sunday Night Lights wrap up, of course, with all the other news and views of the local ANZ iRacing scene, which is always a good listen. And they've got the interview episode coming up each Sunday. In fact, it's out tonight from memory. They're talking to Emily Jones, a great local iRacing identity there. But Ben, what do you got on this week? You can tell the folks at home. Are you actually going to get on that Snellovision stream of yours, mate?
Nah, probably not. to be honest, just we've got Aussie Car. I'm along with the Locked On boys, so all of us are going to be jumping together, doing some Aussie Car around USA International. It's Oval Week, so that's going to be really interesting. But other than that, just Pro Truck Showdown on Tuesday, so you can catch that on SimSpeed. That is some of the best racing you can have on four wheels at the moment. It's the exact opposite of a Skippy. It's a big four-wheel drive V8 automatic. Oh, it's so much fun. So but that's what I'm up to for the week.
Yeah, the racing over there looks amazing, actually, and certainly the boys get the elbows out each week. But folks, everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment. You can join us in the Discord, both to keep up to date with Sunday Night Lights results and replays and everything. It's all in there, as well as how you register to get your name and team and everything in the overlays as well. Just drop on by into the Discord. The Top Split YouTube is where this and all the other race replays for MNL and SNL history goes. Otherwise, Corey's channel's there. Corey's still not here, of course. He's having technical difficulties that he's still working through, but thanks to Ben for supporting us here again tonight. But the Top Split TV Twitch channel is where you'll find us each and every Sunday night doing what we do best. But that'll about do us, folks. On behalf of Ben Snell, I'm Alex McKellar. Thank you, everyone, for joining us both on track and off. Your support is greatly appreciated. Until next week, I will say ciao for now.